Okay, so this morning, just let's settle our body. This is like the body doesn't meditate. I always need to say that because we get so caught up in our bodies. If our body feels good, we think we had a good meditation. I mean, this is just plain ridiculous. And as Lama Yeshe says, we make the body the boss. Well, it ain't. You know, our body runs the universe. We know that. The senses are so powerful. So we've got to realize that the mind is the point. And so when we do formal meditation, the body needs to be in an appropriate position. From the yogis over the centuries, they've found about half a dozen points that can make it most conducive for the mind to do the job, because the mind meditates. So we just think in a very simple way, our motivation just for this 30 minutes to be together. This particular meditation, it's to bless the speech. So I'll talk about it first. But it's really, I love this meditation, I tell you. And when you hear about it, it's so auspicious. The meaning is very important because So just think we're going to sit here together, do this little meditation to see if we can get some benefit from this so we can continue to use our speech in an appropriate way and to control it in an inappropriate way so we can be of benefit to sentient beings. Okay. So it's a wonderful little meditation. I'll guide the visualization, and then when we need to, at a certain point, we need to recite the mantras. And what the mantras are, curiously, is it's the Sanskrit alphabet. So all the lamas say that the Sanskrit sounds are the kind of the most pure. I don't know, I'm the origin of this, I don't know. So all the Tibetans, when Dharma came to Tibet, they translated everything, but not the mantras. I mean, you can translate them, but you recite them in the Tibetan, you recite them in Sanskrit. So the thing is, when we understand the Vajrayana way of describing the universe and how we all exist, we've got this mind, and then our mind is conjoined with the four elements. This is the way the universe is, according to the Vajrayana model. So as Lama Zopa said, in the Vajrayana model, you've got this subtle body with 72,000 subtle channels coursing, and what courses through those channels, all these different wind energies. This is the basis of health in the Tibetan medical system, in the Ayurvedic system, in the Chinese system. We used to think this way centuries ago in our culture. So there's all the wind energies in our mind, all the different states of mind are intimately connected to the wind energies. So, your Tibetan doctor will feel your pulses, and she can feel an imbalance of, say, the certain winds, and she knows it's related to your attachment. That's why you're having panic attacks. So the mind and the winds are intimately connected. So because the wind, the prana, is sound. That's what sound is. Without, sound is the wind energy coming out of our. So we need to purify it, because that's what speech is. So the purest speech is mantra. So this lovely meditation, we purify we visualize purifying our body, speech, and mind, but by reciting the Sanskrit syllables, these Sanskrit syllables, like the alphabet. So we've got Matt will put them up, and you do your best, but I'll do the little visualization, okay? And then you just contemplate. Because the point is with this, we can see, we humans, we mightn't go around, some of us on this Zoom today, we don't go around raping and killing and, torturing people with our bodies, but we're very good at misusing our speech. And we don't think it's important in our culture. We think I can say what I like, but we don't realize everything we say first pollutes our own mind or purifies our mind, and then harms or benefits others. So, and speech, the power of speech, this is the main gift of the Buddha. We need the speech to hear the advice. We need speech in daily life. You want to help people. If your speech is not valuable, if your speech is not, people don't listen to you, don't believe you, you're useless. You can't survive in life. So speech is incredibly powerful just to survive. So the way to get powerful speech is silence and not speaking rubbish. So what's the rubbish? Well, there's four things we try to commit to do. One is don't just rabbit on about nothing, which is 99% of the time. We're compelled to talk. We don't even care whether the person wants to hear it. Secondly, lying. Now, even this, we mightn't think we're lying, but half the time we speculate because we always want to be right. Oh, yes, we know this, we hear that, we read this. I mean, information just vomits out of our mouth, and we don't even know if it's true. So we just lead people and confuse our own mind. Then there's harsh speech. That's pretty obvious, abusing people. But maybe the worst one even is talking bad things behind people's backs. We think it's virtue, bad-mouthing politicians endlessly. We're just vomiting rubbish out of our mouths. Now, forget about the harm we do to others. What do you think we're doing to our own selves? Polluting our own speech, polluting our wind energies, causing future karma of sickness and suffering. As Lama Zopa says, just even angry thoughts, forget about speech, pollutes your wind energies, which in turn causes sickness. This is the way how karma works. So speech is so powerful. So just relax your body, just get comfy, feel very natural, just the body upright. If you're sitting cross-legged, fine. If not, if you're sitting in a chair, it's important not to slump into the chair. Hold your body upright, so all the wind energies can flow smoothly through the body, which then helps your mind. And your hands in the prayer, the meditation mudra, if you like, as you wish, or just in your lap. Your head slightly tilted forward, chin tucked in, lips slightly apart, and the tip of the tongue resting behind the top teeth, just near the palate. This is from the great yogis over the centuries. They found that, when you meditate a long time, we're only going to do 30 minutes, that you don't need, it stops you from dribbling and from having to swallow your spit all the time. So this posture is very practical. It's for the people who want to meditate full time. So settle into the body, okay? And just do 1 or 2 breaths. Just try to focus your mind, steady your mind. Just deep, complete breaths, not loud, and just focus about 1 minute. Focus on the sensation at your nostrils. As you breathe in and out, just focus the mind. Pay attention to the breath with determination, not to miss 1 breath in that minute. Just 1 minute. Okay. So just I'll lead the visualization. You just do your best, okay? So first we just this little prayer of taking refuge. I'll just say it. You listen. So, we take refuge in the 3 jewels. May I become a Buddha to benefit all. We take refuge in the 3 jewels. We rely upon the 3 jewels. May we become a Buddha to benefit all. We rely upon the 3 jewels. May we become a Buddha to benefit all. So now you imagine on your tongue the syllable R. Now, if you don't know Sanskrit or Tibetan, don't worry. Just visualize the Roman letters AH, R, standing upright on your tongue. Just imagine. So now it turns into a moon disc, like a flat cushion, but it's a moon disc on your tongue. And so now imagine on top of that appears a white Om, O-M, standing upright on the white moon disc on your tongue. Now imagine it's surrounded, and of course we don't know the alphabet, so we just have to imagine it's surrounded by white ali. This is already how they refer to the vowels, the white vowels, and they're circling clockwise around the Om, and they're white. Just imagine the Sanskrit syllables. And then surrounding those is red Kali. They call it Kali. It's the consonants, the red consonants, circling counterclockwise. These red Sanskrit letters standing upright. And then circling that is the blue dependent related heart mantra, or as we would, some of that's Lama Zopa's translation, we might say it's the mantra of dependent arising, which is the way to realize it, which is the best way to realize emptiness. So they're on our tongue, the moon disk, on that, the white Om, surrounded by the white vowels clockwise, the red consonants counterclockwise, the blue dependent related heart mantra clockwise. So now we imagine light radiates out, light beams radiate out from all these syllables and all the syllables, and it goes out to all the 10 directions of the universe, in front of you, behind you, around. And what it does is hook, you imagine it hooks the blessings and the power of speech of all the Buddhas, all the holy beings. You know, someone says this includes all the Buddhas, all the holy beings, all the bodhisattvas, and all, even all the people practicing virtues throughout the universe. This light going out from all these syllables at our heart, on our tongue, hooks the energy of all this power of speech. You know, all the beings who've achieved this power of words, who've power of speech, who've actualized the words of truth, power of speech, speech that's valid, speech that is true, speech that is virtuous, you know. All of this energy of all the beings of the universe is hooked by the light beams coming out, and it all returns and goes back into the syllables on our tongue, making them blissful and radiant, white, red, and blue, make them so radiant and powerful. This power of speech, what it is that the people who've accomplished it by practicing virtue, by not speaking negative speech, by being silent, and by practicing virtue, that means their speech is so powerful that whoever hears it is benefited. Who, you know, what everything you say is benefits whoever hears it. This amazing power of all this speech goes back into our syllables on the tongue, totally making them powerful. Imagine that. So now, as we recite, Matt can put on the screen, and it's just, if you can recite, it's auspicious, because you're gonna bless your speech by doing this. You know, your tongue saying these sounds, these pure sounds. It's very, you know. So then do your best. It's very, very simple as you see it. So visualize. Now visualize as we recite the first lot, the vowels. We visualize now. Visualize, okay? White nectar pours down from the white syllables on our tongue and fills your entire body. And you think now it completely purifies all the negative karma we've ever created since beginningless time with our bodies, since beginningless time, in this life and ever. And this white nectar from the vowels on our tongue pours down, filling us completely, this blissful nectar as we recite. It totally purifies all the negative karma of body. Om, a, I, u, ri, li, e, o, ao, ang, a, svaha. Om, a, I, u, ri, li, e, o, ao, ang, a, svaha. Om, a, I, u, ri, li, e, o, ao, ang, a, svaha. Full of this nectar, white nectar. Every atom of negative karma created since beginning of this time, totally purified. How amazing. Totally blissful. This blissful white nectar filling us. So now, as we visualize the red nectar coming from the red consonants on our tongue, filling our entire body, again, totally filling our body. And this time purifying all the speech. So think like this, think since the beginning of this time, which of course means as humans, animals make few sounds, but they're not so clever. Our speech is so clever. think of it now, all the lying, when it's conscious or even unconscious, but in particular, all our speculating. I feel we don't mean to lie, as I said, but we say stuff that we just don't even know is true. So we mislead people and confuse our own minds. All the nonsense speculating, all the abusive language, if we use that, abusing people, harsh language, all the meaningless nonsense pouring out our mouth, and all the criticism, finding fault behind people's backs, which is what causes all the disharmony. This, in the end, causes wars, all of this nonsense that pours out of our mouths. And even you can think too, the confused speech. You're not sure if you're saying the right thing. You don't know if you're speaking right. You're confused about how to express yourself. All of this speech. And since beginning of this time, but especially this life right now, today, yesterday, all of it. This red nectar filling our body, totally eradicating, totally purifying all this nonsense that causes us so much suffering and then harms others, or causes us not to be believed or not to be appreciated. The worst pain is no one pays attention to you. Your speech is invaluable. This is because of all the negative speech in the past. Totally purified, full of this blissful red nectar as we recite the consonants. Om ka ka ga ga nga, cha cha ja ja nya, ta 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 da na, ta 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 da na, pa pa ba ba ma, ya ra la ra, sha sha sa hak sha svaha. Om ka 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 ga nga, cha 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 ja nya, ta 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 da na, ta 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 da na, pa pa ba ba ma, ya ra la va, sha sha sa hak sha svaha. Om ka 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 ga nga, cha 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 ja nya, ta 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 da na, ta 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 da na, pa pa ba ba ma, ya ra la va, sha sha sa hak sha svaha. Full of this blissful red nectar, totally purifying all the nonsense of our speech. Imagine. So now when we recite the dependent arising mantra, the heart mantra of dependent relation, I mean, by this mantra is so powerful. It's dependent arising, as Lama Yeshe puts it, is the king of logics to prove emptiness. It's the thinking we need to do to realize how things exist. It helps us realize dependent arising, which means that things exist interdependently and therefore that they're lacking independent nature. So as we recite this, blue light goes out from the syllables and fills us completely. And this time, of course, purifies the mind, the source of all the nonsense of our body and speech, the ego grasping that clings to the self-existent me that we believe in with absolute certainty in the bones of our being. This is the source of all the suffering, all the fear, all the dramas, all the nonsense, all the harm we do with our body and speech, all the anxiety, all the anger, all the attachment, all the jealousy, all the low self-esteem, all the depression, all of this, these states of mind, these are the source of the pain and suffering, the source of harming others. So we full of this, we imagine full of this blissful blue nectar, blue like the sky, completely filling us, instantly eradicating the delusions in the mind. Imagine this, full of this radiant nectar. Om ye dhamma hetu prabhava hetun teshan tatagato yevedat teshan chayo nirada evam vadi mahashamanaye svaha. Om ye dhamma hetu prabhava hetun teshan tatagato yevedat teshan chayo nirada evam vadi mahashamanaye svaha. Om ye dhamma hetu prabhava hetun teshan tatagato yevedat teshan chayo niroda evam vadi mahashamanaye svaha. Full of this blissful blue nectar. You can put the mantras away now, Matt. Be so happy. So now we imagine, now we visualize on our tongue, the heart mantra, dependent arising, the blue, dissolving into the red vowel, into the red consonants. Imagine, let us dissolve into the red consonants. The red consonants dissolve into the white vowels. And the white vowels dissolve into the Om. And the white Om dissolves into the moon disk, which it's sitting on. And now the moon disk transforms into an R. And now the R transforms into pink-colored nectar. And this pink nectar dissolves into your tongue. So now your tongue becomes indestructible. Rinpoche says you feel like your tongue is heavy and strong, as if it's difficult to move, and it's indestructible. Nothing can harm or take away or destroy the power of your speech, the power of your mantra. So they have strong confidence that all the power and blessings of the speech of all the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas and the sages and the yogis have entered your speech, and that your speech is perfected. Think, I have perfected my speech. So now think that the minute any sentient being hears you, the ants, the birds, the dogs, the humans, it straight away, it pacifies their problems, their emotional suffering. You know, think it makes them happy. Think it answers whatever their problems are. And then if you have to get things done, if you're having to tell people what to do, you're running organizations, working with people, they will believe you, they will trust your speech, they will do what you wish. Speech is incredible. This is the way we communicate on the planet. So feel full of, imagine now you are full of this power of speech, such that any sound you utter will benefit whoever hears it, will be useful, will be true, will guide sentient beings, even the animals and the birds and the ants who hears it. Can you think of this? This is the greatest gift we can give beings. And we achieve this by blessing our speech like this, by saying mantra. Every second we say mantra, we're purifying our speech. Every second we say positive words, we are purifying our speech. Every second we are silent and don't say negative words, we're purifying our speech. Imagine full of this. How amazing, how marvelous. As Rinpoche says, you know, the power of your speech now becomes marvelous, and whatever you recite, all your virtues, all your prayers, all your mantras, they're multiplied. The virtue, the merit is multiplied by millions of times. Your speech will never become gossip. It'll only be beneficial. Can you imagine? Be so delighted. So now we dedicate. So just, I'll say the words and you think it, okay? Such a sweet little dedication prayer. May my tongue have all the courage of the ones gone to bliss. By the power manifesting from these glorified words, may all sentient beings be subdued. Whatever words I say, may all these actions be accomplished instantly. Okay, relax. I love that meditation. It's so unexpected, isn't it? Who would have thought, you know, your little heavy tongue, your little tongue being useful. It's just hilarious. That's marvelous. I think it's a great meditation. We can do it more often. I kept meaning to do it, but we've got to have the mantras, and I forget to send the mantras. So you people, it's 25 past. We have 5 minutes to go, but maybe that'll do. a cheap session this morning. I'll shortchange you 5 minutes. Or maybe just do, we'll do a little, no, that's enough. That's enough. That's enough. Okay. We'll just delight in this, hear the meaning of it. And if yeah, I can certainly send it to people if you want it, for sure. So that's it, people. Thank you, sweethearts. May we be beneficial to sentient beings. May we be happy. And I can make a decision today. It's a powerful thing. Make a decision today. I'm going to watch my speech like a hawk. And it's such a powerful practice. I mean, I can tell you the next half an hour. It's so beneficial. I'll just tell you one story. I always tell this. I'm not trying to make my family like a bunch of saints, because we're not. We're all speedy and maniacs, 7 siblings, very close in age, and we always fight like families do, right? We had poor. My mother and father had so many babies so quickly we had to share beds, right? She sent us the fanciest Catholic convent. I always joke that she still owes the bills like 60 years later. But anyway, we're always volatile, shouting and yelling. I mean, it's reasonable. Get a bunch of human beings together. What do you expect? So the thing is, we'd fight, and then we left home as we got older, and we'd come home for Christmas, which is Australia's big deal instead of Thanksgiving. And then we'd argue, but then we'd always get over it. We're pretty friendly, pretty good people. But the speech was always the problem, So the last 20 plus years, I would say maybe more than that, because we're all old now. There's this unspoken decision between us, unspoken agreement. We never say bad things about each other to each other. We all the time. Polly would say what Janet did, and Julie would say what Polly did, and I'd say what Mary did. And it was always just there. You know what it's like with families. We never say bad things about each other. If we speak about each other, we rejoice, which is unheard of in families. I mean, Charmaine heard me speaking to one of my sisters. She couldn't believe how friendly we were. So kind to each other. And when we're together, we never argue. I mean, we've got very different views, I tell you. But we talk about the things we share. So the feeling is incredible because there's no junk you're carrying around. There's no bad feeling. You know how once you say the words, they're out of your mouth, So it's incredibly powerful. Don't underestimate it. Your own self, but for other people too. So just one day by day, make a decision, Watch your speech like a hawk. Don't say things that aren't true. Don't speculate. Shut up if you don't know the right answer. Be silent. I mean, don't be phony, just be natural, but watch like a hawk. Especially quit talking about the politicians, please. Quit talking about your alcoholic uncle. We never stop, when we're behind backs. Very powerful. And so it really transforms your own mind, I promise. Okay, and then helps others. So that's it. Goodbye, everybody. Much love. I'll see you sometime again.
Bye, Robina.
Robina.
Good day.
Bye.
Thank you, Venerable.